top doctor says bird flu was weaponized in bioweapon labs, and it it has all the earmarks of being a bioweapon. Like our ex intelligence people came out and said about Biden laptop, it has all the earmarks of Russian disinformation. I'm gonna say this have all the earmarks of the bird of a weaponized bioweapon. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. We're gonna show the clip of the doctor and hear what she has to say about it. Um, it's sounding like Wuhan all over again. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. All right, so let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from Slay News is the great Frank Bergman, and he reports that a top doctor has spoken out to warn the public that bird flu has been weaponized in bioweapon labs to make the virus more transmissible between humans. Dr. Kelly Victory, a leading emergency medicine and disaster specialist, says her studies have uncovered such conclusive evidence that she can, quote, guarantee that avian influenza was manipulated in a laboratory. And what do you know? This just happened to come out right before the 2024 election. We're seeing it being transmitted to humans. What a coincidence, right? It's like a repeat. It's like we've seen this story before. But during a new interview on the podcast show Redacted, Dr. Victory explains that bird flu should not be able to be transmitted between humans. However, she warns that scientists have manipulated the virus using gain-of-function research in biolabs. You know, gain-of-function, the thing that Fauci started off by saying that we don't do gain-of-function, and now he pretty much admitted that we do gain-of-function research. But the gain-of-function manipulation of the virus would create, quote, significant human-to-human transmission with the most recent outbreak, she asserts. I'm not gonna read what she said. I'm just gonna play the clip. So let me scroll down to the clip here and see what she has to say. Let me put on my headphones. All right, here we go.
So while there's been a relatively high mortality rate, very little human-to-human transmission. So should we start to see significant human-to-human transmission with this most recent outbreak, I can pretty much guarantee that it's because it was manipulated in the laboratory. Robert Redfield said just the other day that it would take almost, very minimal manipulation of the virus, H5N1. I think 4 total changes to the genome.
Yeah, he came out and said that he can do it himself. He can do it himself in like I think he said in a few months he can make it transmissible himself.
That would make it fundamentally able to be transmitted very easily between humans. And that's something that's extremely dangerous. There's a good reason why people have pushed back on gain-of-function research. They always use the excuse that it's to make us more prepared, to make us, ready with an antidote or a vaccine. The reality is this is very dangerous research, because not only can something get out of a lab by nefarious intent, meaning purposeful spreading of it, but simply by abject incompetence or, people make mistakes, and lab errors happen. They happen far more often than people want to believe. There are over 100 serious lab errors, lab leaks reported every single year. So the idea that someone is weaponizing or manipulating a virus in the laboratory to make it stronger, more transmissible, more capable of causing serious disease, more resistant to treatment is frankly unconscionable. If bird flu should become something to be concerned about, if it should begin to be transmitted between human beings and between people who are not in direct contact with infected animals, then hopefully we will be allowed to use the medications that we should be able to use, like hydroxychloroquine. Right. If instead they shut those things down in order to foist their mRNA vaccine, quote unquote, agenda on us, then it's going to be up to people to push back and say, no, we fell for that the last time and we're not falling for it again.
Yes.
Furthermore, you can
Unfortunately, there's some dummies, there's some idiots out there that still believe the government and everything they say, still follow the government and everything they say, and and when they roll out the bird flu thing, they're gonna go ahead and take it as ordered because these people do not have any type of critical thinking skills.
can expect them to use this bird flu scare, and that's what it is. It's a fear tactic to unnecessarily put pressure on the food system, meaning they are unnecessarily culling, exterminating millions and millions of poultry birds and cattle.
Because think about it. How do you think they're gonna get us to eat bugs if we still have real beef, we still have real chicken? How are they gonna get us to eat this fake lab-made foods if we still have chicken and beef around? It's not gonna happen. So they have to implement this. They have to release this bioweapon to get rid of all the birds, to get rid of all the cows, so we have no choice but to eat the bugs and the lab-grown food. And the added bonus, it'll help out Biden during the election because it'll make people have they put us back on lockdowns. Biden don't have to campaign; he can campaign from his basement again. They're gonna roll out the same story. They use the same story over and over again. It's like Hollywood; they ran out of ideas, so they have to continue. They have to continue to implement the same story over and over again.
Because these animals have, quote, tested positive for bird flu. This is unnecessary. They should allow the virus to move its way through the herds, through the flocks. Some number of animals will die. The rest will develop natural immunity,
absolutely,
and this thing will be extinguished on its own.
Ooh, but the government hates natural immunity. They hate natural immunity. They want to be able to jab you up. No natural. They don't believe in natural immunity,
like most viral pandemics are. If instead they move forward with these mass vaccination programs, as I said, they will drive viral mutation, they will increase the resistance of the virus, and they will cause more carnage.
Now, again, this is a well-renowned doctor. These are her thoughts. Victory also discussed statements from former U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention Director Robert Redfield, which I just alluded to. Last year, Redfield warned that the bird flu would be used as the next bioweapon against the public. Quote, it's going to be a bird flu virus that is manipulated to be able to transmit human to human, very similar to what we saw with COVID, Redfield said. And lo and behold, look what's happening. He's right. A recent study found that evidence links the latest outbreak of bird flu to biolabs. The published study is titled Proximal Origin of Epidemic Highly Pathogenic Avian Influenza H5N1 clad 2.3.4.4b and spread by migratory waterfowl. Now, this is their study. The study was highlighted by world-renowned American cardiologist Peter McCullough. In a post on X detailed the findings of the study. McCullough noted that the published evidence suggests the current outbreak came from a laboratory. So more evidence that this is a bioweapon created by someone in the lab. The above circumstances prompted us to pose a question, namely, it is possible the HPAI H5N1 clad, the rest, evolved not in nature, but as a result of serial passage or other gain of function research in the laboratory, McCullough wrote. The evidence we have uncovered thus far strongly raises the suspicion that this is indeed the case, specifically the U.S. National and Southeast Poultry Research Laboratory Centers, Athens, Georgia. So we have more evidence. A lot of doctors are coming out and studies showing that this bird flu was made and created in the lab, just like COVID-19. But the news comes amid growing concerns about gain-of-function research triggering another pandemic. As Slate News reported, billionaire Bill Gates is funding dangerous gain-of-function research that seeks to create far deadlier and more contagious strains of bird flu capable of rapidly spreading through humans and livestock. Why? Why would they do this? Why would they make these things deadlier so it can be released off into the public and hurt people? Because Bill Gates will make money off it. He will come up with some type of vaccine and try to sell it to you where he can make more money. Additionally, the Microsoft co-founder organization, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, is working with Democrat President Joe Biden administration for the research. The collaboration with the U.S. federal government agency means that the American taxpayers are also funding the experiment. So we're giving money to Bill and Melinda. According to the Biden admin, however, the dangerous research is being conducted in order to develop mRNA vaccines for avian influenza in preparation for a possible looming pandemic. Those behind the research insist that manipulating the bird flu virus in a biolab to make it more lethal and transmissible among mammals would help with vaccine development. Meanwhile, the pharmaceutical company appears to be anticipating a surge in profit if bird flu spreads among humans before the 2024 election, which I'm sure it will be again. We've seen this story before. And as Slay News reported, Biden administration is now preparing to deploy mRNA vaccines for bird flu before voters head to the polls, according to the report from the Financial Times. The report notes that the Biden admin is preparing to, quote, bankroll a late-stage trial of Moderna's mRNA pandemic bird flu vaccine. I want to meet the people that's going to be in that trial. That say, yeah, go ahead, sign me up. Over the past several months, shares for mRNA vaccine makers have been soaring on bird flu headlines. Again, this is all by design. There's multiple reasons why they're doing this. One of the main reasons is for the election, and another reason is depopulation. But let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.